The huge explosion that caused. The huge explosion that this reveal caused would cause make flow hole out inside, out in the wall and break it apart. It ignited another explosion. That would then blow up those thingies and blow apart this area. The window was shattered open, and the 23 people in here felt as then suddenly, boom, the roof broke apart. It crushed and killed 19 of them as the entirety of the roof then caved down and the walls went out. The research, the four survivors rushed out, as then, on one of the corners of the building, the walls finally gave way. The roof did not like this for obvious reason, and the walls suddenly started collapsing a bit. And it crashed down, and a fire was suddenly sparked up. The fire that was now started as the four people who were still alive at this point of time rushed out there as the man has the 3-man thingy over here. You say two, yeah. One, the worst survived. One person was actually eating lunch when the roof caved in and boom, down. The person going around, the one person who was in this back turret, rushed out and ran down before flying into the boat as the roof caved in. He rushed downwards. As the roof then would crash over down atop the boat, it would suddenly throw it down before the entirety of the little structure that was held there was caught up as the one person who was in this turret, which had been abandoned, as the person who was up here was then killed as then part of the ground fell and he was crushed by the stand. Before it broke apart even more, the fire was started. Suddenly, as now the area burned, there had actually been 99. There were 14 people inside the ship. Three were in their bunks. The captain of the ship was in the pool. Three were on watch over here. One down there, two down there, and one up here. One was in the engine room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One was in there. One of the officers. 9. And 2 officers were on here, and one was checking the ammo store. And 3 were on the bridge. One checking the ammo storage. When, as the 12 people sat there, one of the people who had jumped onto the boat had hit one of the turrets. The ship was struck right on its side by a huge explosion. One of the men on the inside of it was then killed. The ship's center of gravity suddenly took a horrible turn. As then the ship reeled over violently. Suddenly it started taking a horrible twist. as the ship took this horrible listing, another explosion then would be suffered, as the roof then tore its way off, and the ammo suddenly exploded, killing the captain who was in his bunk. The man in the engine room was also killed, along with the other lad, like just sitting along with the other, along with the guy who was on the catwalk over here. The guy in the engine room actually wasn't dead, but he ran out as fast as possible. Looking at the captain was there as the guy who was as one of the officers had the kills. The other one was starting to slide over. The fire was ignited. He was burnt. The more the ammo exploded, killing all the three of the guys who were in their bunks. The ship then heeled over violently. The guy in the engine room was run out as the only surviving officer got out along with the other guy who was in the cargo room. And the only surviving officer. Hello. Ah. I love you. Probably do. Nice. I don't know why. Yeah. Very obviously extremely horrified. People who were there looked at what just happened. Surviving officer would then cling to a chunk of wreckage over here. Grab onto a piece of wreckage over here. Was one to have broken apart boats. Sat there. Very much, the phone was final. The one person who had been in the other appointment, one person who was in the front turret, this explosion was suffered. He panicked a bit. And basically the power of the sun was unwittingly released. The other person in here would run out. The four surviving here's research people would witness this happening, as then would witness all this unfolding, as then the roof crashed down again. Even more, the roof crashed down. Most people were just stunned by this horrible thing that was happening. The guy in the turret over here would then run out there. 23, 24, 26. Sorry, excuse me. Oh yeah, the other person in here had ran out and would just run away and survived. There's 31 people in total there. Currently only 9 were alive. No good things can be on, though. And the weight of the ship was lost, as then it would lost a hell of a lot of its buoyancy. Heeled over violently. Before then breaking up, sinking down, killing one of the people who were on it. It was one of the original people.